Uh, Hello. Uh, I've been thinking a lot recently about the state of entertainment and how, I guess, it's grown in importance to me. You know, just in general, different forms of entertainment, you know, movies, TV shows, video games, books, music, you know, physical things too, like walking. They've just become a lot more important to me. And I've been thinking a lot about why that is, because these are things that I've been doing for many years now. A lot of these for all my life, going to the movies, watching TV. This is stuff that everyone does, but I feel some sort of deep connection, deep feeling of, I guess, appreciation for these things now. Um, and I have a few thoughts as to why that is. Um, I guess starting at the beginning when I was small, I'll think about my relationships with entertainment from back then and then work my way up. So I guess when I was really young, like elementary school, the way I viewed entertainment, it was just something that I did whenever I wasn't at school, you know, because homework was light. You could, you know, get that over and done with pretty quickly. Then there was the fact that I had to stay after school in my elementary school because my parents didn't get off work until a little while after school had ended for me. So I had time to knock out homework then too. And so being at home, not having much of anything to do, I would watch a whole bunch of TV. Uh, I'd play, you know, games or sports with the kids on my neighborhood. And once I got my Xbox 360, I'd start playing video games. And I look back on this time particularly fondly because it feels like my life was in perfect balance, I guess. I was doing well in school. I had friends, people I knew, people that I did always hang out with that recognized me, that seemed to enjoy my presence. And then I also had times in which I could just have fun by myself. Uh, Being a kid, you take those kind of things for granted, I guess. Now that I no longer have that balance in my life. So, needless to say, entertainment was it was an important part of my life, but at the time I didn't view it as important. Uh, and then I moved. I moved away from that neighborhood, from those people that I hung out with, from everyone I knew in school. And at that point, I basically cut out the hanging out with the people on the block aspect of entertainment. I no longer did that. I couldn't do that because this place where I was, there were no people my own age. I didn't I didn't really care at the time. I was still having fun, because this would have been like fourth grade. Um, and I just continued playing video games and watching movies and TV. When it came to movies, specifically DVDs. I remember this DVD shop I would go to sometimes. It sold well, these DVDs were in Russian, right? That's because that was the language they spoke there. But you could always change them back to English. If they were originally made in the U.S., there was always a language setting on the DVDs. You just had to be able to find it because by default the text and the audio was all in Russian. And yeah, for that entire year, I didn't go to the movies. That entire year I was there, I was completely relying on DVDs. Uh, and then all the friends that I had there, they were only in school. There was no one. Before I moved, I had school friends and I had people in my neighborhood. Those two groups were different. Now I only had school friends, right? And then I moved again, uh, and this would be the tail end of fifth grade, all the way to graduating high school. I would have been in Chile, this place, and I don't know, things just started to break down there. I wasn't using DVDs anymore for entertainment. There was no like DVD shop, and you can only rewatch the DVDs you already have so many times. Uh, so I really really dug into video games as my outlet. You know, if I wasn't if I wasn't working or at school, I would be playing video games. I wouldn't. It was just to pass the time. Really, I wasn't really getting anything out of it. I wasn't trying to get better at them. I wasn't trying to get achievements. I wasn't trying to do anything like that. I was just doing it because that was how I kept myself entertained. Um, about halfway through my time there, I would move from a house to an apartment. And this apartment was pretty central. It was like a central hub for me, I guess. I could go to a lot of different places from this apartment. Two different malls, a bunch of shops in between, restaurants, movies. It was great. This is when I first started going to the movies by myself, just seeing stuff. I didn't I didn't really appreciate it like I do now. I was just something like, "Oh, I heard this is coming out. I want to go see it." So that's what I did. Um, I'm much more closer to that version of me now than I am to like any other version because now I go to the movies maybe once every 3 weeks. It's kind of like a scheduled thing. Sometimes once every 2 weeks. Sometimes, depending on what comes out when, one weekend and then the next weekend go again, and the next weekend go again. It could be back to back depending on, what's coming out. Um, Back when I was living in my dorm room, so this would have been the start of this year at college, I would go to the movies extremely often, extremely often. I think that became more of an outlet to me for entertainment than video games, which was strange because I don't know. I started going and seeing stuff that I probably never would have spent the time to go see if I was still in high school. I don't know. It's not like I grew this new appreciation for movies or anything. I just had, I just felt more free living on a dorm, so I'm just like, well, I can go to the movies, so why not? And that's what I did. And now I'm carrying on that attitude because back then, or a couple months ago, I would be seeing movies that they were like rom-coms, sitcoms, you know, big action blockbusters, and then movies that felt like they were more like plays. I was just watching any and everything that came out for the most part. And now I'm still doing that. I'm just watching stuff. And I really like that. Because back when I lived in Chile and I would go to the movies, I would pretty much exclusively see action type movies. And now I feel like, well, I mentioned earlier that back then I didn't really have an appreciation for the movies. And I think that's why, because I only saw one type of movie for the most part. And now I can pretty much go and watch anything, and I think I'll be sufficiently entertained. Um, so that's nice. I feel like I've grown in that aspect, and I'm happy about that. You know, and going back to video games, uh, it's November, so we have Call of Duty that's out. Battlefield is going to be coming out in a couple hours for me at midnight, so I guess that's 6 hours. And then Halo's out, right? I can't play Halo because I have a PlayStation, but I'm glad that these three big shooters are all coming out at the same time. It's very reminiscent of I guess like the 2010s, the early 2010s and the 2000s, So that's nice. And then there are a bunch of single player games that I'm looking forward to now. Elden Ring, that's a big one, and then Knights of the Old Republic, that's getting a remake. That should be fun. And recently I played Final Fantasy 7 and 8 in remake for the first time, so I'm looking forward to remake part 2, you know, uh, God of War, stuff like that. These single player games that I can just sit down and just play for myself, play for the story. I don't have to like compete with anyone. Not to say that those types of games are bad. I play COD and Apex, and I'm going to be playing Battlefield, so. But yeah, I'm just glad that there's going to be all these new types of games coming out, next year, 2023, that I'll be able to, enjoy. Uh, so when it comes to like my appreciation and just my appreciation for entertainment, COVID really, it really, made that important to me. Um, because even though I was living in a dorm room on campus, I took mostly online classes just because, it fit the hours that I preferred to work at. But, the downside was I didn't get to meet, a lot of people. I met some people, but not a lot. No one that I'm, keeping in touch with right now, for example. So, that's whatever. But, going back to like elementary school and how I had this perfect balance of entertainment, where I had video games, movies, and like friends in and out of school. I don't have any because right now I'm not on campus. I'm doing online school from home. Next semester I'll be back on campus, so hopefully things will be different then. But right now, I don't have people in person to like talk to or hang out with. I have online people. That's cool. I have friends from high school and just people I've met, gaming or on Discords or stuff like that, and that's cool. That's nice. Just having someone to like chill out with that seems like it'd be I don't know, cool, I guess. But yeah, yeah. I don't know if I didn't have these other ways of entertainment, if I couldn't cope with being locked inside with these things, I don't know, things would be crazy, things are still crazy, but on a personal level, I think I'd be like going insane. Like I remember when the Snyder Cut came out, that was a big thing for me. Not because I like, particularly cared about it or anything, but because I it came out, and as soon as it came out, I was just able to pull it up and watch it. I spent 4 hours watching it, and so I guess that makes me appreciate, you know, how accessible these things are now. So I guess I should be thankful to things like Netflix and HBO Max and just streaming in general, really, because now I don't need DVDs. I don't need to go to the movies, even though going to the movies is something that I genuinely enjoy doing. I don't need to. I can watch these things from home, so that's nice. Yeah, it's some variety, even though I'm just watching stuff. Where you watch something that can change the experience, as I'm sure people already know. Uh, yeah, entertainment.
Alternator here.
10 seconds until the ring closes. Move.
Extended light mag here. Level 3. We're outside the ring. Move, unless you want to get barbecued.
Mindful eye on that area. Have a subject in view. Far off. Adding another gas trap.
Taking fire. Firing. Charging on my shields.
Throwing Arc Star.
Beginning ring countdown. Taking fire. Recharging shields. Holding this position. Shields are depleted. Recharging.
Reload. Subject gas.
Taking fire. Recharging shields.
Gas cloud deployed. Firing. Reloading.
Defending here. They can attempt to move me.
Charging on my shields. Light ammo here. Heavy ammo here.
Placing an independent variable. Trap set and waiting. Thank you.
Warning.
You're welcome.
We're inside the next ring. Superior positioning.
Taking fire. Firing on subjects.
Got another bandit.
Reloading. My mission is completed.
Fox 3, sending the payload.
Recharging shields.
Got another bandit.
Reloading.
Only one squad remains.
Final round. Beginning ring countdown.
Repairing
Subject
damages.
in view. Administering medical aid.
45 seconds and a near...
Leaving a gas trap behind.
Targets pinpointed.
Under fire.
Repairing damages.
Recharging shields. Ring's close and it's a good thing. Only have 30 seconds left.
Placing gas trap. Independent variable added.
Under fire.
Deploying the variable.
Charging up my shields.
Deploying respawn beacon. Recharging shields.
Recharging shields.
Thermite out.
Shields are recharging.
Sending an arc star.
Subject down.
Fox 3, coming alive.
You are the Apex Champions.